If you feel tired of everything, not just tired in your body, but tired in your bones, tired in your thoughts, tired in a way sleep doesn't fix, then stay here for a moment. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to improve your mood. You don't need to feel hopeful. Just stay. Because what you're feeling isn't weakness. And it isn't failure. And it isn't something wrong with you. It's something that happens to people who have been carrying too much for too long. There's a kind of exhaustion that comes after years of being responsible. Years of holding yourself together. Years of showing up, even when no one noticed how hard it was. It's not dramatic. It's quiet. It's the kind that makes you stare at the ceiling at night and think, I don't even know what I'm tired of anymore. It's the kind that makes simple things feel heavy and future plans feel distant, like they belong to someone else's life. You didn't wake up one day like this. This didn't happen overnight. This tiredness was built slowly. It came from being the one who kept going. From being the one who adapted. From being the one who said it's fine when it wasn't. From being the one who figured it out because no one else was going to. And over time, that strength everyone praised became something you were trapped inside. People see you functioning and assume you're okay. They see you surviving and assume you're strong. They don't see how much energy it takes just to exist some days. They don't see how often you talk yourself through the day in small, quiet sentences like, just get through this part. Just make it to tonight. And when you finally sit down, when the noise fades, that's when it hits you. That deep tiredness. The kind that makes you question everything without having the energy to change anything. If you've been feeling disconnected, unmotivated, numb, or overwhelmed for no clear reason, that doesn't mean you're broken. It means your system has been in survival mode for too long. When you live like that, constantly managing stress, emotions, expectations, and responsibilities, your body and mind eventually ask for rest. Not sleep. Rest. The kind of rest where you're not performing, not proving, not holding yourself together for someone else. You might be judging yourself for feeling this way. You might be thinking you should be grateful, or stronger, or more disciplined, or more motivated. But guilt doesn't heal exhaustion. Pressure doesn't restore energy. And shaming yourself for being tired only makes the weight heavier. You are not lazy. You are not ungrateful. You are not weak. You are human, and you've been carrying more than most people ever see. There's also something else that makes this kind of tiredness harder. You're not just tired of tasks. You're tired of uncertainty. Tired of trying to plan a future when you don't feel stable in the present. Tired of fixing things that keep breaking. Tired of giving energy to situations that don't give anything back. Tired of hoping things will change while secretly fearing they won't. And the hardest part is that you don't even know what you need anymore. Rest feels unproductive. Change feels overwhelming. Doing nothing feels pointless. Doing something feels exhausting. So you stay in this in-between state, not collapsing, not moving forward, just existing with this quiet weight in your chest. But listen to this carefully. This moment you're in is not the end of your strength. It's a signal that something needs to shift. Not dramatically, not all at once, but gently. Slowly, honestly. You don't need a complete life overhaul. You don't need a new personality. You don't need to become someone else. You need permission to stop fighting yourself. Right now, you don't need motivation. You don't need discipline. You don't need another speech telling you to push harder. You've already been pushing. What you need is understanding. You need to hear that it makes sense, you're tired. You need to hear that the way you feel is a normal response to prolonged pressure. You need to know that this doesn't define you, and it doesn't mean you're stuck like this forever. There is still something steady inside you, even if you can't feel it clearly right now. The fact that you're here, listening, means a part of you hasn't given up. It might be quiet. It might be tired. But it's still present. And that part doesn't need to be forced awake. It needs to be treated gently. You are allowed to slow down without quitting. You are allowed to rest without falling behind. You are allowed to take this moment seriously instead of brushing it off. Nothing is wrong with you for needing space to breathe again. Stay with this feeling for a little longer. Don't rush to fix it. Don't rush to explain it. Just notice that you're still here, that your breath is still moving, that this tiredness, as heavy as it feels, is not permanent. It's a chapter, not a conclusion. And in the next part, we're going to talk about what this tiredness is trying to protect you from, what it's been quietly asking you to change, and how you begin to move forward without burning yourself out again. For now, just stay. That's enough. What you're feeling right now isn't just exhaustion, it's your system asking for honesty. Not honesty with the world, not with people around you, but honesty with yourself. Because somewhere along the way, you learned how to function without asking whether the life you were living was actually sustainable for you. You learned how to survive days that drained you, conversations that cost you, expectations that didn't fit you, and you did it so well that no one questioned it, including you. This kind of tiredness shows up when you've been strong longer than you were meant to be. When rest was always postponed. When your needs were always negotiable. When you kept saying, after this, or once things calm down, and they never really did. Eventually, your mind and body stop asking politely. They slow you down. They make everything feel heavier. Not to punish you, but to protect you. You might be scared that if you stop, everything will fall apart. That if you rest, you'll lose momentum. That if you admit you're tired, it means you're failing. But the truth is, ignoring exhaustion doesn't make you resilient. It makes you brittle. And brittle things break suddenly. Quietly listening to your limits is not giving up. It's how you last. A lot of people reach this point and think the solution is to change everything at once. Quit everything. Start over completely. Become a new version of themselves overnight. But that kind of pressure is just another way of hurting yourself. Healing doesn't come from forcing transformation. It comes from reducing the constant tension you live inside. Ask yourself this, gently, without judgment. What have you been carrying that no one asked you to carry? What responsibilities did you accept because it felt easier than disappointing someone? What emotions did you silence because there wasn't room for them? What version of yourself have you been performing just to keep things running? You don't need all the answers today. You just need to acknowledge that some of what you're tired of isn't the work, or the people, or the circumstances. It's the constant self-abandonment. The constant choosing of what's required over what's sustainable. This is where things begin to shift. Not outwardly yet, but inwardly. When you stop asking, how do I push through this? And start asking, what do I need to stop doing to myself? That question alone changes the direction of your life. You don't need to become more productive. You don't need to optimize your mornings or hustle harder. You need to give yourself permission to exist without always earning your place. You need to let go of the belief that rest has to be justified. You need to understand that slowing down doesn't erase your progress. It protects it. There will be moments after this where you feel guilty for resting, where you feel behind, where you feel like you should be doing more. That's normal. Those feelings don't mean you're wrong. They mean you're unlearning a survival pattern. Be patient with that process. You spent years building it. You are not behind in life. You are not late. You are not failing to keep up. You are recalibrating after being stretched too far. That doesn't look impressive from the outside. It doesn't get applause. But it's one of the most important things you'll ever do. And slowly, without forcing it, energy begins to return. Not the frantic kind, the steady kind. Clarity starts to replace confusion. You stop reacting to everything. You start choosing again. You notice what drains you and what grounds you. You stop giving everything to things that give nothing back. You don't become fearless, you become honest. One day, not suddenly, but quietly, you'll realize you're not waking up with that same weight anymore. The tiredness loosens its grip. Not because life became easy, but because you stopped living at war with yourself. Because you stopped demanding more than you could give. Because you finally treated yourself like someone worth protecting. And if you're not there yet, that's okay. This isn't a deadline. This is a direction. Just recognizing what's happening inside you is already movement, already healing, already strength. So, if you feel tired of everything, let this be the moment you stop fighting that feeling and start listening to it. Let it guide you instead of shaming you. Let it slow you instead of breaking you. You are not done. You are not empty. You are resting between chapters. Stay gentle with yourself after this. That's not weakness. That's wisdom. And if you needed to hear this tonight, you weren't wrong for stopping here. You were taking care of yourself maybe for the first time in a long while.